So we got a couple other things we got to go over for this unit still. We won't be putting numbers in order. We won't really necessarily be comparing them. We're going to be adding integers today. So remember, or who can tell me, what's an integer? Whole numbers, their opposites, and 0. Integers are whole numbers, their opposites, and 0. So basically what that means when we're adding integers, we're going to add positive and negative whole numbers, okay? Stuff that looks like this. 9 plus negative 5. All right. One of the ways they do this is they use these little like plus minus circles, or sometimes they'll call them charges. You'll see that in science too sometimes with a positive or negative charge on an ion. And this makes it pretty easy to see. So if I've got 9 plus negative 5, I have 9 positive charges. I have 5 negative charges, right? Which one do I have more of? Positive. How many more? 4 more, and that's our answer, positive 4. Okay? It's canceling out the ones that would match up. Whatever is left over is your answer. So when you have these circles or those charges, it's fairly easy to see. Yeah.
So it's basically just like subtracting it.
We'll get to that, but yeah. All right, so sometimes they don't make it as easy for you. So we got to figure it out. We got to do a little counting. How many positives are there? 4. That one's easier. 4 positives. How many negatives? So we got negative 7. Would the order matter on that? No. Addition order does not matter. Negative 7 plus 4, 4 plus negative 7, same thing. So which one do I have more of? Positive or negative? Negative. How many more? 3. And if you need to, again, we could cross off matches. I got 3 without matches. Since I had 3 and they were negatives that I had more of, that makes my answer negative 3. All right, this making a little bit of sense so far? I think some of y'all are seeing how it works too, right? So that's what we'll get into. I don't like spending a lot of time on these circle problems. I think they're very easy, like too easy. So we do have to do regular problems where they don't give you the circles. So the first thing you always want to do is you gotta look, are the signs alike? And by alike, I mean both positive or both negative. So negative 4 plus negative 2, or positive 5 plus positive 9. Or are they different? If they're not alike, that means you have a positive plus a negative or a negative plus a positive. Everybody clear on what I mean by whether they're alike or not alike? Yeah, I mean, it's not anything tough. So once you ask that question, you do different things depending on which one the answer is. So if the signs are alike, you are going to add the numbers and keep the sign. So if I've got negative 2 plus negative 6, and sometimes they put the negative numbers in parentheses, the parentheses don't do anything. That's just to keep it separated from the plus sign, or when we get to subtraction, the minus sign. So what that means is if I got negative 2 plus negative 6, I add. 6 plus 2 is 8, and we keep the sign. They were negative, so that's negative 8. Make sense? Y'all try those other 3. Number 2, Chastity. 20 is correct. You better get that one right. That one's your elementary school math. That was positive plus a positive. Number 3, Sydney.
-20.
-20. We got -8, -12. We add those, that makes 20. Keep the sign, that makes it negative. And then number 4 there, -6 plus -6. Mason. -12. We got 6 plus 6 is 12. Keep the sign. Okay? Not anything horribly tough, is this? But there's things you have to remember to do. When the signs are alike, you add and keep the sign. So sometimes the signs aren't alike. We're going to have different signs. Some of y'all already noticed this. When the signs are different, what are we going to do? Robert? Subtract. And then you keep the sign of the number that you have more of, the one that's the bigger looking number, the higher absolute value. So for this number 1 here, I got 18 plus -4. What I do is 18 minus 4. 18 minus 4 is 14. I use the sign of the bigger number. 18 is bigger than 4. 18 was positive, so my answer is positive 14. That make sense? All right, y'all do the other 3. Number 2, Jeremiah. Nope. Gray? -9 is correct. 12 minus 3 is 9. 12 is a bigger number. It was negative, so we got -9. Number 3, Kyle. 8 is correct. 20 minus 12 is 8. 20 is the bigger number. 20 was positive, so we got positive 8. And number 4, Sarah E. 0 is correct. Signs are different, we subtract. 18 minus 18 is 0. We don't have to worry about the sign of the bigger number. 1, there isn't a bigger number, but 0 is not positive, 0 is not negative, 0 is 0. Okay? Any questions on that? As I said, the math part of this is not difficult. It's adding or subtracting. It's remembering which sign to use that's maybe a little bit confusing or takes a little bit getting used to.